Good afternoon, students. Welcome back to Zoom class. Today we are going to say new chapter, that is reproduction plants. This is the first chapter to be taught today, in which what we are going to see, the first one is asexual method. Second one is sexual method, vegetative method. And third topic is sexual method. And fourth one is pre-fertilization structure and event. Pre-fertilization structure and event. The next topic is fertilization. Next, we are going to see post-fertilization structure and event. Post-fertilization structure and events. The next one is polyembryonic. The next topic is apomixis. And last one is parthenocarphy. So this is the subtopics that we are going to discuss in the first chapter, that is the reproduction plants. So first of all, let me take asexual method and vegetative method of reproduction. Today I have decided to take two topics only. The first topic is the asexual method and the second topic is vegetative method, right? Let me take first of all asexual. Before going to discuss about asexual and vegetative method of reproduction, I must define what is a reproduction. Before going to deal about the asexual reproduction, I must define reproduction. Actually, reproduction, it is an essential feature of all the living system. It's nothing but an organism reproduces its own species or own next generation by the process is called reproduction. Or on the other word, I can say reproduction is nothing but it's a process by which an existence of a species from an organism is known as reproduction, right? Oh, reproduction, it is also known as it is a continuation and the existence of its own species from the older organism, that is called a reproduction, right? So reproduction, which actually it is possible by the combination of male gamete and the female gamete, by the process that is called as recombination. Actually, reproduction causes recombination, then recombination causes evolution process. Evolution, which consists of variation. Actually, variation is caused by recombination, recombination is made by the fusion of male gamete and female gamete by the process that is a reproduction. So as a result, an offspring is produced from the mother parent, mother plant, right? That is called reproduction, right? Actually, reproduction which plays an important role in the process of evolution by the combination of male gamete and female gamete, that is called as a reproduction. Okay, next we pass on to types of reproduction. Actually, reproduction generally divided into two types. They are asexual method and the sexual method. Asexual reproduction, and that takes place by the presence of spore without the involvement of male and female gamete, that is called as a asexual reproduction. Here, asexual reproduction means an absence of male gamete and the female gamete, but it produces its one species or next generation without the involvement of male and female gamete. That is called asexual reproduction. Whereas sexual reproduction is a type of reproduction that reproduces an organism by the fusion of male and female gamete. I repeat once again. Sexual reproduction is a kind of reproduction that occurs in all the living organisms by the involvement of male and female gamete. That is called a sexual reproduction, right? First of all, let me take asexual reproduction. Actually, asexual reproduction it takes place in all the organisms, especially I can say in lower organisms. Generally, asexual reproduction it occurs in two methods. One is lower plants or lower organism, and it also occurs in higher organism. Sometimes in a higher organism. Right? So first of all, let me take a lower organism. Generally, as I mentioned, asexual reproduction is a type of reproduction, or it's a method of reproduction that helps to perpetuate its own species. Simply, asexual reproduction, it's nothing but it helps to perpetuate its own species or its own. That is called asexual reproduction. I repeat once again, asexual reproduction, it's a method of reproduction that helps to perpetuate its own species without the involvement of male and female gamete. That is called asexual reproduction. Generally, asexual, A means absence of sex organ. Here, there is no involvement of male and female gamete. I mean, there is no involvement of alternation and gaination. Hence, but a new organism produced by the process that is called asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction takes place in different ways and different methods. First of all, let me take in lower organism, particularly I can say in lower organism, the first category is Punidia. And the second category is Botany. In third category is fragmentation. The next category is there are different methods of asexual reproduction which are taking place in different organisms. First of all, let me take in lower organism. The first category is a Punidia, the second category is a Botany, the third category is a fragmentation, and fourth category is Gemma. Or Gemma. The next category is fission. Binary fission. The next category is regeneration. So these are all the methods, various methods of asexual reproduction. The first category is conidia. Actually, conidia is nothing but it's a type of reproduction. I can say best example for conidia, Aspergillus. The best example I can say, Aspergillus. And second one, Penicillium. Actually, conidia is nothing but there is a globe-like structure that arises from the sterigma of Aspergillus and the Penicillium, in which asexual reproduction takes place by means of conidia. Conidia is nothing but it's a spore-like structure. Now, this is a conidia. The conidia, it's a unicellular structure. It's a spherical in shape. And the conidia forms from the Penicillium and Aspergillus. When it detaches and falls on a suitable substrate, it grows and develops into new organism, new species. That is called a Punitive Method. Actually, conidia is a type of spore by which an organism, really I can say, this Aspergillus or Penicillium, which reproduces its own species by the formation of spore-like structure that is called a conidia. Oh, this is a method. It is a conidia. Right? What is conidia? Conidia is a spore-like structure which is unicellular in nature, that is responsible for the formation and the development of new organism in case of Aspergillus and Penicillium. That is a right example for conidia formation. Sometimes the question is going to be asked, which of the following is an example of conidia formation? Aspergillus, Penicillium, A. B. Bacteria, C. Algae. So if it is asked, you got right, Aspergillus and the Penicillium. They are the example of conidia. Next we pass on to budding. Actually, budding is nothing but it's a type of organ by which an organism reproduces its own species by the process that is called budding. Budding, I can say some example, yeast. Yeast, I can say. Yeast and hydra. There are two examples I can say for budding method. Actually, budding is nothing but there is an organism. The surface of the organism, now that we draw the structure of yeast cell. Actually, it is a yeast. There is a yeast or there is a parental yeast that produces. There is a bud-like structure which is gradually grows from the surface of yeast cell, and later on it develops into new cell. So finally, it grows new daughter cell. After detachment, you can say new daughter cell. This is called a daughter cell. So the second one is a daughter cell, and the first category is mother cell or parental. The mother cell, from the mother cell, there is a bud-like structure that arises from the surface of yeast and develops gradually and attains maturity after attaining maturity, the bud-like structure which detaches from the yeast cell and develops into new organism by the process that is called a budding. So budding is a process by which bud-like structure that arises from the mother cell of yeast and it gradually develops and attains maturity and detaches, and finally it is folded in a suitable substrate and it develops into new organism. First example I can say yeast and hydra. And third category is fragmentation. Actually, fragmentation is a method of reproduction in which the entire organism, I'm talking about fragmentation. Now, this is a fragmentation. I can say best example, Spirogyra. Spirogyra is an example for fragmentation method. Spirogyra, what is Spirogyra? Spirogyra, it's an algae. It is an algae that is a filamentous-like structure. I'm drawing now, this is a Spirogyra plant. It is the multicellular organism. It is a green algae in which there is a ribble-like structure that arises at the center of every cell of a spirogyra. So Spirogyra, what is fragmentation? Fragmentation is nothing but there is a breakage. There is a breakage which occurs in every cells of Spirogyra. So there is a breakage, hence it develops. So this fragmentation is nothing but there is a piece of organism. So the entire thallus or thallic structure or ribble-like structure, when it is broken to form a number of pieces, each piece develops into new Spirogyra, new organism, right? This is a Spirogyra, right? After fragmentation, fragmentation is a process by which the entire thallus is broken into piece, number of small piece, or each piece develops, grows, and attains maturity into new organism. That is called a fragmentation, right? This is one of the method of reproduction, right? I can say asexual method of reproduction. The next category is Gemma. Actually, Gemma is unicellular. Actually, it's a globe-like structure. Now, this is a Gemma or Gemme. It is originator in case of Markentia. It is made up of a number of cells, and it also possesses nucleus. And there is a Gemma which occurs. This is a Gemma or Gemme. This is a Gemme. It's a globe-like structure that is also responsible for the formation of. Actually, I can say it comes under vegetative reproduction. So simply an organism. Now this is a Markentia. Let me draw the structure of Gemma. Now this is a Markentia plant, right? This is a Markentia in which you can see there is a thallus-like structure, and the lower side you can see a number of hair-like structures that is called rhizoids. And it is a filamentous. And these filamentous or these thallus-like structure, you can say Gemma. Gemma is originator, the upper side of the Markentia. Actually, these Gemma which it develops and attains maturity and which it detaches from the thallus it evolves on suitable substratum and develops into new organism. That is called a Gemma. Gemma is one of the method of reproduction. Right, in which the Gemma arises from the upper side of the thallus of Markentia. Right, I can say, example I can say Markentia. Actually, Markentia is a bryophytic member. What is Markentia? Markentia is a bryophytic member. In the bryophytic members that consist of filamentous-like structure or thallus-like structure, just on the thallus-like structure, you can say there is a globe-like structure that arises from the upper side of the Markentia plant, which it gradually develops and attains to maturity, and as a result, this Gemma is responsible for the formation of new thallus. I mean, new Markentia plant, right? This is one of the way for producing new organism, right? This is a method of one of the asexual method of reproduction, right? The next we pass on to binary fission. I'm talking about binary fission. My dear students, now I'm going to discuss with binary fission. Actually, binary fission is a method of reproduction in which the bacteria which undergoes mitotically into two cells, right? Now this is the structure of bacteria. This is the structure of bacteria in which this mitotic division is taking place, and as a result, it forms two daughter cells by the process of cytokinesis and karyokinesis, right? So there are two steps are involved in binary fission. The first one is cytokinesis and karyokinesis. Saranya, Sugunya, students, Sugunya, what do you want? Speak out, speak out. Now please unmute your mic and ask me. There is any clarification, please ask. First of all, did you understand what I'm going to teach you? Students? Okay, by the process of, actually binary fission is nothing but a mother bacteria which undergoes mitotically to form two daughter cells by the process of cytokinesis and karyokinesis. So first of all, cytokinesis and karyokinesis, there are two steps are involved in binary fission. So as a result, we can get two daughter cells. That is called as a binary fission, right? But next we pass on to regeneration. Next we pass on to regeneration. Hoping that everybody can understand, right? So next we pass on to regeneration. The last type is last type of reproduction, asexual reproduction. I'm talking about asexual reproduction. That is regeneration. Actually, regeneration is one of the method of asexual reproduction in which an organism reproduces its own species by the process, that is regeneration. Actually, regeneration is a method of tissue culture techniques in which an organism reproduces, right? That's the regeneration. Really, I can say some example for regeneration. Plant area. Plant area or the example of regeneration, right? So this is simply something about our types of asexual reproduction, right? Next we pass on to vegetative reproduction. Next we pass on to vegetative method of reproduction. Vegetative method of reproduction. Actually, vegetative method of reproduction is a type of reproduction in which an organism reproduces vegetatively from the vegetative part of the plant. Either it may be root or stem or leaf. Generally, vegetative reproduction takes place from root, from stem and leaves, which are vegetative organ of the plant, right? So first of all, let me take vegetative part of the plant. What are vegetative part of the plant? The first one, root. The first category is a root, and the second category is stem. The third category is from leaf. Right? So root, stem, leaves are vegetative organs of the plant, right? From which an organism reproduces its next generation. It may be from the root, from the stem, or from the leaf, right? This is called a vegetative method of reproduction. I repeat once again. Vegetative method of reproduction is a method of reproduction by which an organism reproduces its one species or one generation from root, from stem, from leaf, right? They are the reproductive organ, hence they are known as a vegetative method of reproduction. Simply I can say an organism reproduces vegetatively from the vegetative part of the plant. Either it may be from a root, from stem or leaf. That is called the vegetative method of reproduction. So first of all, let me take vegetative reproduction takes place from root. Some example I can say. In Muraya, now this is a plant. In which here you can see some plants. The root portion which develops, which forms, there is a bud-like structure. Some buds are formed. Actually, these buds are formed from the root. The buds which develops from the root and it grows and forms like a stem, right? That is called a vegetative reproduction takes place from root. So some example I can say, Muraya plant. In Muraya plant, the root system which develops to form simply bud-like structure, that bud which develops into root and shoot and leaf, that is called a vegetative reproduction from the root. Right, I can say Muraya plant. And one more category I can say Dalbergia latifolia. What is Dalbergia? Actually, it's a rose, right? Dalbergia latifolia, from that root system which arises bud-like structure that develops into new plant, new species. That is observed in case of Dalbergia. And one more thing I can say, Millingtonia. Actually, Millingtonia is one of the name of the scientist from that. The Millingtonia plant also responsible for the formation of bud, the bud-like structure which arises from the root and develops into new plant, right? So this is an example of vegetative reproduction takes place from root. Now, some example I can say in some Ipomia. In Ipomia, you can say there is a store in Ipomia. In Ipomia and dahlia plants are also responsible for storage of food material, right? So this is simply something but of vegetative reproduction takes place from root only, right? Next we pass on to vegetative reproduction takes place in stem. I'm talking about second categories, that is the stem. So there are several modifications of stem. The first one is aerial modification. Stem is modified. The first one aerial and the second one is subverial. And third category is underground modification. So in aerial modification of stem, I can say stem is modified to perform a reproductive organ like structure. That is called bulbils, right? I can say bulbils. Actually, bulbils are it's a aerial modification of stem, which is a cylinder-like structure that also arises from the stem portion. But it is also responsible for the formation of new species. Right? I can say a diasporia, an agave plant. In diasporia, and one more category is that is agave plant. In that, this is a stem. From the stem-like structure, from the stem, there is a globe-like structure. This is called bulbils. This is the bulbils which arises from the node of the stem of diasporian agave plant. It is also responsible for the formation of new plant species, right? This is the bulbils. Bulbils. Right? Bulbils or exotic is a diasporia and agave plant. Right? They are the example of bulbils. It comes under aerial modification. Let me take a subverial. Actually, in subverial, there are different methods of subverial modification in which the stem is modified into different structure. First of all, let me take subverial modification, then we will come back underground modification, right? In subverial modification, stem is modified into the first category is a runner. The second category is stolen. Third one is sucker. Fourth one is offset. Right? Runner, stolen, and sucker. The last one is offset. Actually, runner is nothing but it is. Now this is a runner in Centella asiatica. Right, I can say some example for runner, Centella asiatica. Asiatica. It is a binomial of Vallari, right? In Centella asiatica, you can say the renner. Actually, renner is a cylindrical structure that it grows from the horizontally. It grows. Now, this is a plant in which renner, there is a horizontal cylindrical structure. From that, the stem which grows vertically towards light. And the lower side, you can say, it also arises. There is a fibrous root or adventitious root. Then it grows horizontally. It also creates, it forms a new system, new stem portion, right? The stem is very weak, right? And again, this renner, it grows horizontally to form a new generation that is called renner. In Centella asiatica, you can say this kind of vegetative reproduction. Right, next we pass on to stolen. Stolen, I can say in Fragaria and Menta. Menta and Fragaria. In Menta and Fragaria, in which there is little bit difference. Now this is I'm talking about stolen. It's the first one, renner. And let me draw a second category. There is a stolen. Stolen, it is also, there is a cylindrical structure that grows just above the soil surface. Now this is a soil. The stem which grows just above the soil surface. Now this is a plant category, right? It also arises a root towards soil. But to find our adventitious root system, it also arises from the specified region that is called a nodal region or node, in which the branches of the plant and mental primary plant which arises, again it grows. There is a node, this stolen. I'm talking about the second, this is a stolen. Stolen, it's a cylindrical like structure that grows just above the soil surface. It grows continuously, horizontally, but sometimes what will happen is the branches may arise towards light and the rhizoids of the root or adventitious root system that it goes towards geotrophical nature or towards soil. Again, it grows. Again, the stolen which grows horizontally, it occupies the neighbor region of the soil, right? Again, it grows branches, right? So, by which this organism reproduces vegetatively This is called a stolen method, right? Stolen is a type of subverial modification of stem in which this plant which reproduces by means of stolen. Actually, stolen is a cylindrical structure. It's a modified remnant, but it grows just above the soil. It is not contacted with it does not scrape the surface of the soil, but it grows just above the soil and forms on one side root system and another side branches at a specific tree that is a nodal region through which it grows, right? That is called the stolen method. The next category is a sucker. Sucker, I can say this example, Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum. Actually, Chrysanthemum is a plant in which the stem which grows. Now, this is a stem. I'm talking about Chrysanthemum plant. It is a stem or the stolen at the surface of the plant. Here the plant grows. The root system which grows towards soil. The lateral branches of the root. I'm talking about the lateral branches of the root. It is originated directly, not from the seed. It is originated as the lateral branches from the root. Right? So this lateral growth of the stem, which is modified just below the soil, and again it grows to form a leaf-like structure. In some case of, right, I can say, here now this is called a sucker. Sucker, it's a lateral growth of the stem which arises directly from the, not from the seed, from the taproot system, and it grows horizontally in certain region, in certain distance. After that, again it turns to grow towards light. So this modified lateral growth of the stem is called sucker. What is it called? Sucker. Sucker is identified in case of Chrysanthemum. The next category is offset. Now offset, it grows in hydrophytic aquatic form in nature. Now this is a water aquatic form. You can draw the structures. In Pistia icon plant, right? In Pistia and icon plant, so you can say, because it's an aquatic form or hydrophytic in nature, these offset which grows cylindrical like structure that also develops, grows horizontally. It occupies the surface of the water body, like a pond, pool, stream, etc. Right? Lake also. This is a pistia plant. The pistia plant arises there is a cylindrical like structure which occupies the surface of the water. Again, it grows to form leafy portion and stem portion and root system, right? This is called an offset. Offset, I can say, some example I can say. For offset, I can say pistia. And one more category I can say, what? Hycornia. Pistia and Hycornia, they are the example of offset, right? It's the root system. I'm talking about the pistia plant. It consists of root packets. Right, root packets. So here a concentrate offset is not, this is offset. Offset is nothing, it's a cylindrical like structure that grows continuously towards a horizontal portion, horizontal side, not vertical. But vertical you can say leafy structure and root system, right? They are the example of, I think, for pistia and icon, the example of the offset. So this is simply something about subverial modification. And next we pass on to underground modification. So far we have discussed vegetative reproduction. Vegetative reproduction takes place in different methods. The one is the root and the second system. The third one is the leaf. And root is develops into bud, and bud grows and attains maturity to form a new plant. And second category is a stem. Stem develops into a bud-like structure. That bud arises to form a number of leaf-like structure branches also, right? So far we can discuss the aerial and the subaerial. Next we pass on to underground modification. Underground stem. Some plants which reproduces from the stem, particularly I can say some underground stem which are modified to form a reproducing organ which gradually develops into new organism. So vegetative reproduction takes place from some underground stem. Some example I can say. Tuber and rhizome and cones and bulb. So the first type is, let me take bulb. The second category is comb. And third category is tuber. The next category is rhizome. Right? So an organism reproduces from bulb-like structure. When you can say in allium cepa. In allium cepa, you can say now this is a allium plant, or onion plant. From the onion plant, there is a bud-like structure that arises. In Allium cepa. Just example I can say. Allium cepa. Allium cepa. It's an example of a bulb. So this is a bud, axillary buds. This axillary buds which develops into new organism, right? This portion is a fleshy, scaly leaf-like structure. Fleshy, scaly leaves. Now it's a root system, rhizoids. Right, there is a rhizoids, a root system. It also develops, right? This is an example for a bulb. Next we pass on to corpus. Actually, comes nothing but it's a colocasia. I'm talking about next category is a colocasia. Colocasia is a storage of food material. It's a storage of organ that produces bud-like structure that buds develops and will form a new generation. And next we have tuber. Tubers, potato tuber, I can say the example from the eye pot. From the eye pot. This region is responsible for the formation of buds. These buds are arises from the eye spot of potato tuber. Right? We say potato. These buds develop into new organism. Right? The next category is a rhizome. Actually, a rhizome is under modification cell. Some example for rhizome. Ginger and curcuma langa. From the leafy portion. So there is a leaf-like structure. This is a leaf. From the leaf, you can see there is a bud-like structure. The bud arises from the margin of the leaf, right? Just example, I can say Bryophyllum, begonia, schilla. So now here you can see there is a bud which arises from the margin. I'm talking about these are buds. That bud arises from the margin of the leaf. Particularly, I can say some example for leaf, right? Bryophyllum. The second one is the begonia. Begonia. The next category is schilla. Schilla. Or the example of vegetative reproduction takes place from leaf. Some example, I can say Bryophyllum. From that, you can say bud arises from the margin and the begonia, the seed also. Schilla. They are the example of vegetative reproduction occurs in leaf portion. So far, we have discussed different methods of reproduction. The first type is, I repeat once again, asexual reproduction that takes place in only lower forms such as conidia, budding, fragmentation, Gemma, binary fission, and regeneration. They are the methods of asexual reproduction. Whereas vegetative reproduction takes place in only higher forms, only in higher plants by root, by stem, by leaf. By root, you can say Brya, Dalbergia, Latifolia, Melintonia, and Iponia, Dahlia plant. Whereas in stem is modified into different structures like bulbils, wren, stolon, sector abstract, and rhizomes, tuber, and the corpse, rhizome, bulb-like structure. So far, we have discussed vegetative method of reproduction in plants, and finally, vegetative reproduction takes place from leaf. The leaf. Last that is advantages and disadvantages of this plant, right? So there is only one parent is required to form a new generation, and there is nothing but most of the cultivators and horticulturists are used in large scale. And what are the disadvantages of this vegetative reproduction? It does not produce genetical variation. That is to underline, right? So thank you for joining. If there is any clarification, ask me. Students, there is any doubt? Thank you. When I come to next class, make an assignment and try to send it to your respective botany teachers. Thank you. Once again, thank you for joining.